Hi, my name is Alessandro Gangelosi and that's a new tutorial coming from cgcookie.com for MaxCookie. This time I'd like to see a really simple approach to find a way to rig your lighting system to light a product, for example a box of something we just bought. We'll try to do in a really simple way and trying to figure out how to obtain a really interesting look with a realistic lighting. So first of all, let's check the unit setup. We set 2 centimeters. Okay, we need a plane that will be our, for example, table. Let's remove the grid using the G key, and we'll have, for example, 200 centimeters and 120 centimeters. Let's go at full screen. Okay, and there 2 and 2. Okay, let's go there. That's our plane, and we can create let's say a box, or we can directly use an extended primitives. We can use the chamfer box, and now we do let's do a really simple stuffs layer there. Okay, the box will be maybe 25 centimeters for let's say 10 centimeters, or maybe 13 centimeters, 15 centimeters, and it will be high 6 centimeters, maybe let's go for 8 centimeters. Okay, that's our box. We move it there and we go near with the camera, but we need let's do this one is a camera, and we'll have no clipping. Okay, so let's still work with the camera, and we can go near and we can see something like that. Okay, and let's use the show save frame, and we'll set our rendering to 900 and 400. Okay, and there we need a little bit more space. Okay, perfect. And I like to have a little bit more perspective, nothing so much, just a little bit. Okay, so then we have to change again the proportion there to have a full screen there. Okay, first of all, let's assign a standard material, but before I like to set the rendering engine, and we'll use iRay. I'm using the new 3ds Max, so iRay is named NVIDIA iRay and MentorRay is named NVIDIA MentorRay. Let's go there, and let's use there for the material editor MentorRay. Okay, let's close, and we can have a simple material there, standard, using the arc shader without reflection for both the objects. So we can start tuning the lighting. First of all, I like to have a light coming from up, and we'll use let's say a photometric light, and let's use a target light. Or maybe I like to work with a standard MentorRay area omni, but we have to tune the parameters. So let's go for the photometric. Okay, target light, and we can have a light coming from up, and we'll move it there, and also the target there. This one will be higher, and we'll have, let's scale it there. Okay, we have the shadows, and we have to set the illumination, let's say 100 or maybe 75 for the moment, and we have not a point but a rectangle, and let's scale a little bit the rectangle because it's really it's really big, so we have something like that. Okay, and you see the lighting there, it's really realistic. If we go to render, let's say at middle resolution, we have something like that. Actually, I have some kind of problem with iRay actually, because the GPU is really working on another process, so it's better to go to use iRay. That's the same. So let's stop the problem with the GPU, so we can use the iRay. And let's tune a little bit the lighting. We say that we have 200 ISO there, and let's say that we have there to be faster. We can go in a shaded mode, and we have, let's say, maybe 40, and let's see. Okay, it is really high. Let's go with a lower value as 5, and we have to move there the plane or the box to have it on the ground. Okay, we have to have a little bit of fillet there. Let's say maybe 0.3, and let's assign more side there. So if we try to render, we have something like that. We have a basic lighting. Okay, let's add another light. Obviously we are talking about a target light, and let's go for something like that. And this one will be a light coming from there. Okay, this one will be with the shadows, and we'll have, say, 5 again. And I'm talking about rectangle again, but we have to scale it to something like that. And let's see what happened. We have this kind of lighting. You see the light is coming from there. So let's say that this one has a better color, and we use a filter color there, and let's say something like that. And you see that the lighting is different than before. And I like to set to off this one, the up light, so we can tune this one too, just this one. Okay, and I like to move it a little bit and a little bit up. Okay, let's say a little bit more clear. Then we add another light on the other side, and this one will be higher too, and this one will be a more hot color, something like that. And let's say that we'll stay with 4, but I have obviously to check the rendering. So we have this lighting from there, this one from there. Okay, let's stop. We have to scale and say that we are using a rectangle light with the same lighting there. So let's go to have a little bit more center lighting, and let's see what happened. Okay, you see that it is a little bit better, but I like to have these shadows coming a little bit to me. So to do this, we have to move it just a little bit, and let's see what happened. Okay, you see that the shadows is moving there. Okay, stop. Then we have to set just some material just to have a better look. Let's say that this one is the ground, and we use an arcane design, and we'll go for a color something like that but darker, and it will be a little bit reflective but with a really high glossiness. And let's assign, and let's see what happened. The reflection is really high actually, and I like to have less reflection. Let's think about 15, and we can go for 2 for the glossiness. So you see it's really low. Okay, then I like to change a little bit the color, maybe just a little bit like that. Okay, then I like to have a color for we have also to set gain on this light, so we can tune the power of this light. We can have less power for this lighting, let's say for example 4, and let's try to render gain, and we can stay with this value for the moment. And I like then to maybe have this one. We can also maybe have less power from the 8, but we have to check it later. Okay, I like to set a simple shader for the box. Okay, we use again an arcane design. We have no reflectivity for the moment, and the color will be a bitmap, and we'll use a simple bitmap coming from some images from us. Let's say for example this one. And let's say 90 degree. Okay, you see the box there, and I like to add this one just there. So let's say that we are using a planar map, so we have the staffs just over, and we can say to use no blurring, and then we can have, let's say first of all let's make a test, and you see that we have the color there. We have to use a little bit darker color, so we can go inside the output and we can say to have a little bit less level there. Let's try now, and you see that we have less hot white stuffs there, but we can do also less 0.3 because I like to play a little bit with this map. Okay, let's stop. Perfect. And now I like to have a little bit of reflectivity, but before I like to add also for the moment. Okay, let's go for reflectivity. Let's say 0.3, and let's use maybe 0.4 there for the reflection. Fall off. Okay, you see that we have the reflectivity on the side, and there we have no reflectivity. Let's go for, first of all, let's use this one as reflectivity map as a copy. Let's set to off the maps for the diffuse, and let's use a dark gray there, something like that. Let's see what we have. Okay, we have no reflectivity actually there. Let's stop. Let's use also an environment map, but we can use it environment, and let's say that we use a bitmap, and we use again programs, Autodesk 3ds Max, maps, and let's use the HDR. Let's use the room. Okay, Okay, and this one must be set as environment, as spherical. Okay, let's see what happened. It is baking the map. Okay, you see that we have a little bit of reflection there, but I like to have more reflection. So go there, and let's say first of all that we have 1 there, so we should have more reflection. Let's see it again. You see that we are starting to see something, and let's say so that we have something ready about the reflection, but we add more reflectivity. So we'll have high reflection on the white and lower reflection on the orange. So you see that we are reflecting something. Okay, we can have now, for example, a bump map, and we can use this one. So copy. Let's go in the the special purpose there. So paste, and you see that we have a bump there. But let's say 0.5, and we use a color correction, keep all map, and we go there to have just black and white, so it can be a map for the bump. Let's make another test render. So you see that we have the bumping too now there. Okay, then now I like to add again. We can also mix another map, so keep all map there, and let's use a noise, let's say a fractal one, to have a bumping. For the moment 100%. Let's say that we like to render just this area, and we go to 900 and render. Okay, the bump is really big, so let's go there and let's say 0.6. It is again too big, and let's say 0.06. Obviously the scale depends on the scene scale, so you can set it in a different way. You have just to obtain the right look. And let's go to have more little, so 0.01. Okay, now the bump is really little, and the look is better than before. So we can set now to use, let's cancel the rendering, we can use 50%. So we have more ways there to have bumping. And we can add a little bit of bump. Let's try, for example, with 0.8 and render again. Okay, it seems that we have a good result. Okay, so back to the reflection. We have actually this reflection color there. So we can use the color correction, keep all map. We can remove the saturation, so we have this kind of coloring there. And we can have a little bit of reflection over the box too, because actually we were using the black color, so we had no reflection. let's wait. Okay, you see that now we have the reflection over the box too. So let's stop and let's see a little render, but for the entire box, so we can understand if we are doing it in the right way. Okay, it seems not bad. Maybe I'd like to have more reflection there. So let's close there. Let's see how we are working. We can, for example, have more reflection. Okay, and I like to have more reflectivity on the middle, so we can have more contrast. And this one can be brighter. Let's see, 1.5, maybe 2, 3 to have more lighting. Let's see again the rendering. And we'll discover soon a new feature in 3ds Max, the new version, the 2013, to understand how to do some stuffs with a new version. Okay, we have a little bit of reflection there and more reflection there. Maybe I'd like to see something more there, but it's not a problem. For the moment I like to use the same reflection map as the glossiness map. So actually we are saying that we have let's say no glossy there and glossy on the other side. So let's see what we have in rendering. Okay, you see that we have a glossy coloring there, and then we have there this kind of reflection. We can put on objects over it to see how it is reflection there, but I have to create the objects. Okay, and we can put on the box, let's say for example there, and we can have an Archon Design material just to have a color, and let's say that this one is red and we have no reflection. Okay, let's see how the teapot will be reflected by the box. Okay, you see that we have reflection there on the box, and we have glossy there too. So let's see what happens if there we set this matte as inverted. Let's use inside the map, we can invert the color there. I'm thinking about how to do the stuffs, because we can use, for example, the invert, and we can see how it looks. Okay, you see that we have more precise reflection there, and we have a really high glossy there. So we can tune up again this one. Sorry. Let's see, something like that, because I like to have a little bit of less glossy over the box. Okay, something like that can be interesting. Perfect. So let's remove this one. Let's check the box alone without objects over it. Okay. Let's see in this way. And just tuning the map to control the glossiness in a better way. You see that we are starting to have glossy around there, and I like to have a little bit of glossiness. But now we have no glossiness over there, so we have to tune up a little bit. Let's try to let's see in this way. So we should have a little bit of glossy on the text and an higher glossy over the box. So you see we have it there, and we have a little bit over the box too. I just like to have a little bit less something like that, maybe. Okay, now we have more reflection there, you see. Obviously we need to render for more time to have better reflection there, but we can stop for the moment, and we can have back the color map. So go back there. Okay, and I like to save it because let's say box CG cookie, and let's check with the texture what we can have. Okay, I have back the colors, and we have some reflection too. And we can try also to have some reflectivity there, and I like to try also to change a little bit the map there. So there, let's try to use a color correction, keep all map, and I like to have less contrast, to have just a little bit of coloring there, because you see it's really dark. I like to have a little bit of light gray. Okay, now it is better. Okay, stop. And I like to have something there over the side, and we can use the same map just to have some reflection, and that's all. So we can try to use the multi-sub objects, keep all map, let's say 3, and then we can use an edit poly, and this one can have, for example, 2 for the ID, and this one the 3. Okay, then we need another UV map. Let's say this one will be the number 2, this one will be the number 3 because will be set for the side, and another UV map we can say from the side. This will be the number 2, and we can rotate it rotate it by 90 degree, and then we can set to fit. Okay, so the second material can be again the same, but I like to have just a color, and we have to check the map. Using the number 2, we have to use no rotate, so the same we have to do for the other maps. So there we have to use the channel number 2, and we use 0, and the same for bump number 2, and we use 0. So let's check how it looks. We should have just reflection there. And we can use it lower reflection, so we can go there, and we can see that we have just less reflectivity. It is still high, just a little bit. Okay, and the same we can do for the other map. We can copy this one, and inside there the first one will be this one. Let's say number 3, and let's say 180. Okay, then we have to rotate the glossy 3 and 180, and the bump 2, map 3, and rotation 180. So let's go there, save, and control how it looks there. Okay, you see we have the map. Obviously we have a black color there, and we have a more clear color there, and that's just because we have a darker map for logo and a more different map for the box. So actually it's not a problem, because we are not trying to do something so realistic, but we can remove a little bit just using a lower value there. So we use, for example, 0.1, so we'll have just a little amount. So let's try to see a complete render. Okay, we can have maybe a little bit of more reflection. Let's say that we can go for 0.2 because the look is better if we have more reflection, and 0.2, and again make a test. And you see it's better because we have a better reflection on the side. Okay, I like just to tune up a little bit the lighting. So there, let's say that the light that stay on top will be 3, and this one will be 6, and this one will be something more hot but darker. Let's see how the look will be changed in this way. It is a little bitter for me actually. Okay, I like to give a little bit more bumping to all map there. Let's say 1.5, and let's say 30%. One dot 5, 30, and 1.5 and 30. And just on the first one, I like to have a little bit more saturation there. So let's have a little bit, not so much. Let's do another test render, and then we are ready with our finished project. Obviously you can tune the lighting as you like. You can have a different look just changing the colors of the light we are using, but it's just to understand how we have to work with the lighting to present a product to obtain a realistic look in a really simple way and fast way. And I think it's really simple. As you see, we don't need to do something special. Okay, I think that the look is not bad. So I can stop, and we can just move it a little bit like there, and inside the exposure control we can add a little bit of igniting. Let's try with 20 maybe, or 50, 15. Let's try to render a fast preview. Is too much, obviously. Let's go for 5 just to have a little bit. Okay, obviously you can remove this problem there that we see for the light, and if you start to play a little bit with a light position there, this one, obviously you can remove it. So step by step, if you move the light, you can achieve a better look. as you see, we have no more problem. So I think that for the moment that's all. It was a really simple tutorial, but we understood how to light a scene to present a product in a really simple and efficient way. So for the moment that's all, and I hope to see you back on Max Cookie to check for new tutorial coming from zgcookie.com. Bye.